Two 17-year-old best friends, one late summer night, a stalker in a black SUV. Within seconds, everything changes. This is the story of Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas.
Hi, Sergio.
Well, hello, Emilio. Welcome back.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. I'm Emilio, obviously.
And I'm Sergio. Welcome to your next.
Yes, we are back again for another weekly episode. This is the episode that we said will enrage everyone and is politically charged. So, welcome.
So welcome to that. I know you don't get enough of it in your daily life, so
oh yeah,
thank you for joining us.
Let's just add fuel to the fire.
You know what? Sometimes you just need a place to rant. Let it all out, you know? Like even listening to like the last episode myself, I was just like yelling at nobody. I was like, yeah, exactly. Do that.
And then we make it worse by giving ourselves microphones and then just talking into the void.
Yes, talking into the void.
Like, nobody asked for this.
Look, they have to choose to listen and they do. So
yeah,
join us.
Before we dive in, a super quick trigger warning. This episode contains discussions of gender-based violence, stalking, and extremist ideologies, including incel and politically motivated hate. As always, listener discretion is advised, and please take care of yourself while listening. Now, this case feels a little different. It's currently happening in real time. This happened just a little over a month ago in September 2025, and somehow it hasn't made major headlines. It's one of those cases that perfectly captures the times we're living in, but also reminds us that this is the same old, deeply rooted problem we've seen again and again. And we'll just get started with our two victims. Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas were two 17-year-old high school kids in the small township of Cranford, New Jersey, about an hour from New York City. On the evening of September 29th, they rented an electric bike from the street and rode through their neighborhood. In an instant, a black SUV came speeding down the street straight toward them. It was going about 70 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. It hit with full force, killing both girls on impact. The driver didn't stop. He kept going, dragging their mangled bike underneath before ditching the SUV and fleeing on foot. Witnesses stood frozen, horrified by what they'd just seen. Police and ambulances rushed to the scene, but it was too late. The police quickly secured the SUV and ran the plates. It traced back to a familiar name, Vincent Bataloro. He is 17 years old and went to the same school as Maria and Isabella. There was also a restraining order with his name on it.
Whew. Okay, so getting into it, the people of Cranford and the surrounding towns were in shock and disgust. One witness said, "It's horrible. Horrible. Nothing in the world is more horrible than what I saw yesterday. It's just devastating." Another witness, Lori Okonkwo, a family friend and a former nanny to Isabella, was interviewed for Newsweek, and she said, "I can't believe this happened. I heard about the crash and said, 'My God, that's terrible.' And then I saw her face and I knew it was her right away. This girl, I used to change her diapers and now her mom is just broken. I just pray that God gives them the strength to get through this because they should never have to deal with something like this. Nobody should ever have to deal with this. The girl was just riding her bike." Isabella Rosa Salas was a 17-year-old high school student. She was outgoing, creative, and she loved to perform. She was a member of her high school choir, singing in all the concerts. She was also part of the school's theater productions, everything from singing, dancing, and acting, and the tech crew, which our fellow little theater nerds love it. And she was described as a kind and gentle soul. Her friends said that she was always there for them, always ready to help them out. And she's remembered as, quote, "a vivacious and outgoing teen who lived life loudly." And the same family friend, Lori, said that girl was loved by everyone. Look how big her family is. Oh my God, she was a princess. She is a princess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know this girl, you know, the theater nerd.
Yeah.
Really outgoing and like part of like the weirdo crowd because those were all my friends too. So I'm like, oh, I know who this is.
Isabella's best friend was Maria Niotis. They were always together. Maria, who was also 17, was in her senior year. Her creative and career passions centered around makeup. She wanted to go to cosmetology school after graduating and start her own business. Her mother said, quote, "It wasn't just about glam. It was about helping people see the beauty in themselves that maybe they had forgotten."
That's beautiful.
I know. She loved to listen to music and stayed up to date on fashion trends. Her friends loved her tenacity and kindness. A week before her unfortunate death, she had started her first job at the Cake Artist Cafe in town. To everyone who knew them, they were just ordinary high school girls. But then Vincent Battarolo appeared, and nothing would ever be the same. Vincent is a fellow 17-year-old student at the same high school, a known bully, a fucking horse. He was a live stream gamer who took to his platform to talk about the topics that were important to him. His social media is now unavailable and most of it has been wiped, but as we know, nothing disappears from the internet. Vincent has a long history of misogyny, incel behavior, MAGA support, and political violence. He sounds like the poster child for white-wing extremist agenda.
Yeah, his lawyers were very quick to wipe all that off. And that's the whole social media aspect in this case is huge. And
yeah,
that there's not enough legislation yet.
Which I'm glad that people feel like these kind of people feel dumb enough to document everything online.
This is
like,
true.
Sure, freedom of speech, but I'm so glad that this fucking exists and that it is there. Like, it's made its mark already, and
absolutely,
deleting it or making it private's not making it go away.
That's one of those things of a new tool. It's not good or bad. It's just how you use it. It's like freedom of speech for
AI.
everyone. Well, AI being one, but just like social media in general, or just like the kind of reach that you have now to an audience. Of like, freedom of speech, you're able to talk about what you want to talk about. But then, in this case, which we'll talk about incels in a second, they find each other and support each other and like egg each other on, which like could be good or bad depending on the ideology. And so it's just like using it for good or bad. And I agree that like, I'm glad this is on record. And in this case is like, we have it to prove the case against Vincent Battaloro.
Right.
Okay. Well, with that, allow me to expand on what the word incel means, because it's a fairly new term. And it's very important to this case. So incel is the name given to a growing group of lonely and pathetic men who believe they are the nice guys, I'm doing air quotes, nice guys, and blame women for not liking them. This group is rife with female hate, and they're the same people who started the men's rights group, men's rights activist groups, which I'm sure we've all heard of. And it's just a twisted way of thinking. They approach women to go out on dates but never get any further than that. So to them, in their head, these women must be too woke or too uptight. And I remember reading an article of one man who said he swiped on all the women on Tinder, which is like swipe right on all the women on Tinder, which is already like huge red flag, and matched with very few of them, and none went further than the first date. So this whole article was about how the women have become too picky and don't give a chance to regular guys like me. It's just this twisted logic, or like a failure in logic. If
failure,
like the same thing keeps happening to you with multiple different people, like you are the problem. Like you can't just keep blaming people. Like you should look inward.
Yeah. And
then again, this is the whole platform thing. Like they go on to write or speak on these things and then just prove exactly who they are. Because I don't know, but this particular example, I'm like the audacity to like write an article about how many times he was rejected and then blaming everybody else.
I wish that they would just all be like alienated to only have Truth Social as their only access to the fucking internet, and they were just like talking to that same regime in the void, and it was just like echo chambers.
I mean, the problem is
that
they're
nowhere else.
They're out and about in the world and like fooling people or trying to fool people. I don't know. It's just like, as true crime people, this is such a common personality committing horrible crimes. Okay, so these people, they don't take responsibility and they do not look inward at the sources of their own hate. and their own toxic masculinity. And though the term incel is relatively new, this state of mind is not. As many true crime lovers know, the majority of all the murders is a man killing a woman because she wouldn't give him what he wanted, or wouldn't like them, or wouldn't submit. And at its core, it's about wanting to control the situation, to control people. It's about toxic masculinity, and they take no responsibility for their actions. And for me, most importantly, their own psychological growth. Because that's...
Or lack thereof.
Right. So like not taking any action to it, where people are like, oh, I'm like this because my parents were awful to me. It's like, well, you're an adult now. You are now responsible for your... For fixing that shit for yourself, for fixing that shit, and it is no longer an excuse. Like, that is the source, but you have to work on it. These guys don't think there's anything wrong with them.
Oh, I'm getting so irritated already, and we haven't
even
like
got
we're just scratching the surface,
scratching it.
Fuck
I told you, I was
people.
like, this is going to be a screaming episode, so it's fine.
I'm glad I had my throat coat tea, so my throat is well lubricated for all of this.
Had a lot of coffee, just like burning the back of my throat to calm me down.
To calm me down. It's wild how this whole incel culture just festers online, as we said, but the ideology seems so small at first. But the reality is like it can get terrifyingly dangerous, as we're about to get into. And we could literally go on for hours.
Oh, yeah. Like we can actually just start a secondary podcast on just incel behavior and how terrible men are.
Yeah, coming spring 2026. But okay, let's reel it in and get back to Maria and Isabella.
Yes.
Maria had become Vincent's latest target. He claimed to be in love with her at first, but once she rebuffed his advances, he completely flipped. He began stalking and harassing her at school, on the phone, and of course on social media. It wasn't a secret at school either. Vincent had done this before to other girls.
Which is already... this is problem number one in this fucking case. That's insane. Like a known bully. And you know, like I feel like it's hard for anyone to deal with bullies, but I don't know. This guy should not have been around people. No.
And with everything that these kids have at their disposal, like kids being kids, like let's cut that entirely. Like this isn't just fucking kid behavior.
No.
This isn't going through the hormonal changes. This isn't anything that is like maybe they're lashing out. Who the fuck knows? But like,
even if it is teenage behavior, it needs to be addressed. That's the problem. They're just like, oh, he's being a teenager and he'll grow out of it. No, there's something going on in there.
Psychologically, there's a lot at play. And especially like we know that the brains aren't fully developed yet. So it's just like, it makes it even tougher. Now, with this repeated history, Maria's family filed a complaint with the school. They did little until allegedly Vincent sent Maria and her boyfriend pictures of a naked girl. He was suspended from school and was suspended at the time of the murder, we might add, while they investigated potential distribution of child pornography, which... I
can't wait to hear more about this particular detail in this case. Because
I hope we get to.
There's a lot of red flags here. I was like, one... If a school is suspending someone for possible child pornography, that is now a criminal thing. Like that should not be handled by the school.
Right. Juvenile or not.
I don't think that happened here. Juvenile or not. Or just, even if it like he's 17, he's underage, but he's still sending naked pictures of people. Like that's still a bigger problem. Like it should not be school investigating. I'm like,
the school should have no fucking play in this.
No.
Aside from just like turning over documentation and leaving it at
like
that.
Suspending was the right move. Like get him away from the general population and this poor girl.
Yeah.
But I want to know if like that was the actual reason like written down for his suspension. Like that's a criminal offense, like a federal criminal offense, and he should not be in your hands.
No. Now, Maria's boyfriend had confronted Vincent before his suspension and told him to leave Maria alone. And of course, Vincent responded with, quote, "I'm not leaving her alone until she apologizes to me."
Yeah, that sentence.
Yeah.
See, like that line, it sounds innocuous, but it's like, that is all I need to know about this person.
Oh,
But they
yeah.
like are expecting an apology from a woman who did nothing to them. So, oh,
Vincent then sent the boyfriend a picture of another naked girl with the caption, quote, "I did this to one girl, I'll do it to another. Keep running your mouth and I'll create your girl's nudes." So it's alleged that he was using pictures found online or either using AI to create these pictures of nude teenage girls. Now, we lightly touched on it, but AI can be amazing and resourceful. Like a lot of companies are really pushing the way with AI,
yeah.
but the speed and ease it provides almost makes it like really dangerous when it lands in the wrong hands, especially when it's used to target real people. I mean, the content we scroll past while doom scrolling,
Yeah.
there's bound to be something that's already been touched by AI.
And it's like you'd have to like invest hours of research to find out if it is AI. You know, like for the average person,
Yeah,
like you couldn't know what you're seeing is or is not
right.
anymore.
Sometimes it's so blatantly obvious too, but it's
Yeah.
just like why?
But sometimes it's not. I remember when like it really started taking off, people were playing these clips that they made with the AI, and it looks like a news reporter covering a real news story, and then right at the end it's like, I'm not real, I'm a prompt, this is an AI video. And then you're like, what? Like,
That's
yeah, but it was like
horrifying.
meant to show that like for like the older generation or like your parents,
Mm-hmm.
they're watching the news and they could
Yeah.
be completely fake, and that's what they'll believe.
Yep. So, of course, as a mother, Maria's mom was horrified and went to the local police department. They went 3 different times, filed a stalking and harassment report, and tried to get a restraining order against Vincent, but nothing significant was done.
Nope.
According to current New Jersey law, restraining orders are generally not available when both the victim and harasser are underage. They would have to file a complaint through the juvenile system, which requires probable cause and is especially hard to get in cases of online abuse or ambiguous threats. The only other way to obtain one is if they were emancipated. Now, I think it's completely unfair that this law says minors can't get the same restraining order protection as adults, even when they're clearly being targeted. Protection should be for everyone. I mean,
Absolutely.
we're just getting into like laws at hand currently. But like, especially when there's a proven pattern, what the fuck are we missing?
The next question is, okay, define harassment and why someone who's like 17,
Mm,
it's different than if he was 18. Like, it makes no sense. Harassment is harassment, and change needs to come from this as well, because that's bullshit. Or like this he's literally stalking her and doing all these horrible things, which we're gonna get into. And they're like, oh, well, it's a juvenile problem.
Stalking is never okay. None of this
No,
shit is ever
never.
okay.
Never okay. And there's like deeper issues. Like, just leave them alone. It just like, I get it. Most of these things are like made to protect children, but
Yeah.
this particular thing has now created a way to protect the abuser
Yeah.
just because of his age. So it's like, okay, well, now you've made it into a weird situation where like the victim is now less protected than the abuser.
Hopefully now that because this is such a mainstream case
Yeah.
and he's white, hopefully someone will step out and make this the precedent to where they do enact different laws, even if it's just in the state. Like
Of New
I'll
Jersey.
take that for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's definitely, I mean, it's part of what we said earlier there with the legislation of how quickly technology is moving. It's just, there's not enough definition of harassment when it comes to like online harassment. Like, it's still very archaic to where like, if he's not physically in front of you or like messing with you in person, it's not real, like it's not valid. And that's
Right.
not
Oh, just
okay.
block him. Block him. It'll
Yeah,
stop.
just block them or like don't go on social media. Like, that is not okay.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
yeah. So this needs to be more, and like that's the other thing we said earlier of like, it's now documented. So like, why shouldn't that be part of the legislation?
Right.
So, okay. So all of that in layman's terms, they were no fucking help at all. The teachers, the police, the city, nothing. Vincent's harassment ramped up after a major political violence event, which was the assassination of Charlie Kirk. who Charlie
Boo.
Kirk is a right-wing Charlie Kirk is a right-wing podcaster with a large following and supports conservative rights. And that is a very neutral statement of who Charlie Kirk is. And we all know the kind of like media insanity that followed his death, because it blew up in a very weird way. And Vincent, unsurprisingly, was a big fan of Charlie Kirk, of course, agreed with a lot of what he had to say. And also dishonorable mention, he was a defender, Vincent was a defender of Andrew Tate, who, if you know who Andrew Tate is still facing charges for being a rapist and a human trafficker. And one of these incel men who think women are property and men should be tough. So,
God damn it.
We'll save it. I know. In relation to this case, Maria had reposted a video that was critical of Charlie Kirk. And I don't know the severity of that. Yeah, but she reposted a video, you know. Yeah. And Vincent took this as ammo that he needed. He upped the harassment, and he also boldly talked about all of this on his video game live streams. And in one such live stream, less than a week before he murdered Maria and Isabella, he talked about a prank, quote, prank he was doing on Maria, where he would order pizza to be delivered to her house with a message. He described it as vengeance on his live stream, saying, quote, "When she sees the pizza guy, she better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his fucking death. Stupid fucking clown." And like, this is recorded, so like out of his mouth. And one of his more than 40,000 followers asked him if he was still
massive for a 17-year-old.
For a 17-year-old, and it's 40,000 people who agree with him. Like, it's just terrifying.
That's horrifying. We need to stop making kids. There's too many fucking people.
Too many kids. Just no more kids. Yeah. So that's part of this whole thing, that he had this incredible following, but it's also how much he was involved on the internet that radicalized him in this way. Yeah, but in relation to this prank, one of his 40,000 followers asked him, "Are you still going out there to watch the pizza delivery guy deliver the pizza?" So this is like something he had been talking about, something that he had been doing. But Vincent, in the same video, responded, "I'm not doing that anymore because last time he did, Maria's mother saw him and called the cops." So that's on record as well. And he boasted that his phone is a burner, so they, quote, "won't find where I live." It's also important to note here that Vincent had called out Maria and her mother by name on that live stream. So there's no ambiguity of who he's talking about. And then I wanted to add to this, because there was an update later after this script was written, that Vincent had also done two what the kids are calling swatting events.
What?
Have you ever heard of this? This is the whole thing. So I don't know how it became a thing, but it was streamers fighting streamers. Basically, one person would call the police and say something insane, give them the address of the other person, and like police and SWAT teams would come to that house. And
oh my God,
do the police and SWAT thing that they do, which is super intense and like horrifying. And there would be nothing, like it would just be a false claim.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah, it's a real thing. I haven't heard it happen lately until this, but that was a whole thing. And Vincent did this twice to Maria. So one, I don't know what the legal ramifications of that is. I know it's illegal to like call in a false emergency. Right. But maybe at that point they didn't know it was Vincent. He said he had a burner phone, whatever the reasons, but he had done this twice to her and he bragged about it on live stream. And that came out later because from the lawyer, from Maria's family's lawyer, who was like, "Wow, we have records of this happening and blah, blah." So I wanted to just bring that up here. So this is all happening in the span of a few months before the actual event, before the murder. And he's just on live stream talking about it, boasting and laughing. It's very disturbing.
Monitor your fucking children.
Well, we need to monitor other people's children because their parents aren't doing shit. Especially in this case.
Yeah.
He complained about him being suspended from school. He alluded to having family in law enforcement and that his father was arguing with the school over the suspension and the requirements to return. Because once the father was like, you shouldn't have suspended my kid. This isn't that bad. It's just kids being kids, which if it's true, if he's distributing child pornography, that is not a teenage thing. But a term of his suspension, in order for him to return, Vincent to return, he must get what's called a SAVRI assessment, which stands for Structured Assessment of Violence Risk for Youths. And it's basically a psych eval for violent youths. And his father refused to have him take it. And he was arguing with the school that he shouldn't have to take it in order to come back.
It shouldn't be an option.
It shouldn't. And it probably wasn't. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, if you have to go as far as to like, you need a psych evaluation, they should not be allowed in a school.
Right.
But, Vincent acted before any of that could play out.
Now, do we know what he was putting in the previous, what the message was in the previous pizza deliveries? Was it just a note on the label? Were they making messages in the pepperonis?
A message in the pepperonis. That would be amazing.
We need someone from Domino's to come out and tell us.
Yeah, what this message was. But it might have just been that he told Maria, hey, that's for me and I'm watching you, maybe kind of deal. I don't know. But
sweet. Thanks for the free pizza.
He would do that and then wait to watch the pizza delivery man do it. So, I mean, that sounds to me in this case, intimidation, I know where you live sort of deal.
Yeah.
But I would love to know.
I just wish, why couldn't it stay as innocent as just, oh, here's a fucking pizza?
Because that was not his intention. He was doing it for vengeance. He was doing it to make her feel uncomfortable and unsafe. Because he said, she better think of Charlie Kirk every time she sees the pizza guy. And I'm like, well, that's the intention there versus oh, this is funny. You have to pay for pizza.
But what? I don't mean to keep digging at this, but what is the fucking correlation between Charlie Kirk and the fucking pizza delivery? I don't get it.
Yeah, because I read about that first and then later the whole swatting thing. That's two very different things, but they're the same thing in their heads. It's someone showing up to their house causing a ruckus. One's way more intense than the other, but I don't know. I don't know this crazy mind of.
I've had it. I've had it with these kids.
No, I'm maybe it was sending 100 pizzas to their house and they have to pay for them or something. I don't know. I just feel it was very much I know where you live and I want you to know that I'm watching you or that I'm still doing this to you.
It was definitely a power play for sure.
Yeah. And then to be literally in your car outside of our house watching it happen. That's crazy stalker and scary. So, yeah.
Well, despite all of this, Vincent was free to do what he wanted and continue harassing Maria up to and after the day he killed her and Isabella. When Vincent abandoned his SUV around the corner from where he had hit them, the police picked him up that very night for questioning, but he was released. It's unclear why they let him go that evening. The Union County Prosecutor's Office hasn't publicly detailed the specific evidentiary or legal reasons for the release. Most can speculate that they just wanted to have more evidence before the arrest, which is very typical. Mm-hmm. But we kind of have a different theory, which we'll touch on in a moment. Now, the next afternoon, September 30th, Vincent unbelievably went on, well, maybe it is believable. Who knows?
I guess. This just tells me he hadn't talked to a lawyer yet. So, another fact that he thought he was fine.
Or he just, as 17-year-olds tend to do, feels so defiant and just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, just impulsively.
Yes. Well, no matter what the reasoning was, he went on yet another live stream rant to talk about the case. Now, in a perfect world, I wish gag orders were immediately ordered and issued. Let's make it standard.
Yeah.
There should be no reason he should have the ability to, one, have access to the internet to keep taunting, and two, to just run his fucking mouth. Yeah. Kids and adults. Now, news of his involvement was known throughout the town and on social media by now. And in his live stream, Vincent said, quote, "I need to explain some things that happened over the past few days. There's been a lot of misinformation going on over the internet, but I will say this. I wish my sincerest condolences to those two girls lost in the tragic accident." Like, shut the fuck up, James Charles. You're not fucking sorry for anything.
Audacity.
Oh my God.
The audacity of like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened when you fucking did it.
In front of my salad, fake ass apology. Vincent further claimed that he was being framed for double murder and ranted for a few minutes about how he was being bullied because of the allegations. He had a cousin who rightfully unfollowed him and cut ties with him because of all of the online hate. Hopefully it wasn't just because of the hate, and it was also just because of like, yo, like I don't fuck
Like,
with
I'm
any of that.
hoping-
No cap, no riz, whatever.
Yeah. No riz. I think
Whatever
you're
that
using that
means.
correctly.
I hope I'm not.
We'll have to ask a young person.
And of course, Vincent went further saying, quote, "I'm a nice kid. I'm 17 years old with a good family by my side, and these allegations have been ruining everything. It is a shame." I'll tell you what's a fucking shame.
Audacity. The audacity and the delusion. But it also just comes from this confidence that they have that they're going to be fine.
Audacity has to be his middle name.
Vincent Audacity Bataloro. Yeah, so lots of problems already. More problems already. That evening, that evening after the live stream, he was arrested finally and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and at least 15 different driving violations, which included driving without a license and insurance and reckless driving. His lawyers were very quick to take down the live streams and to set his socials to private. The live stream videos are still out there, of course, because it's the internet. And I did consider wanting to add snippets of his live stream in here, but I really just don't want that piece of trash talking on here.
Nope.
So for listeners, if you'd like to hear it from the donkey's mouth, there will be links on our citation section of this episode. People saved it. It's out there. And, you know, you can just hear what kind of a person he is.
Yeah, not in my house.
Yeah, no. And then just,
Do you remember those commercials? Who was it? Fucking Shaq or Shaquille O'Neal? They'd be like, someone would be doing something and they would like swat it out of their hand.
Yeah, like knock it out of the air.
Not in my house.
That sounds like Shaq.
What happened to fun commercials like that? Bring that shit back.
Yeah, like early 2000s were the weirdest commercials.
Oh, they were so good though.
There was a great era of them being so weird.
Good times.
Good times. Okay, and there's just one more thing I want to hit on, and I freely admit that this is just speculation on my own. I'm going to put that in quotes, my speculation.
Okay.
Vincent was being protected not only by our current political climate and media censorship, but also by his family in law enforcement. These towns are small. Like, I've lived in little small towns like this. It's the kind where you like have to drive a few miles to go to like the local store, like Walmart or something, and it's a whole different town. You know, so like all bunched together. That's the kind of little town he lived in. And Vincent's father and grandfather were both retired police officers from the town's police force. And in the neighboring town, which is just only, half a mile away, Vincent's uncle, Christopher Bataloro, is the current police chief. So that raises red flags at me. Yeah, I'm like, that raises red flags to me. And then I saw in an update, the lawyer said his dad had only retired December before, so like less than a year before this incident.
Okay.
Which we'll speculate a bit more on later, but I think we've seen that kind of behavior a lot where it's like, oh, it's the sheriff's son, or they get some sort of leeway, or the sheriff's like, I'll handle it, just no paperwork, blah, blah. I think that's kind of what was happening the entire time here, because he had no consequences every time they went to the police.
That family connection should not be something that's plausible. Like, you can't escape the fact that like they're related to that person, but they should not be able to have any sort of involvement, any sort of access, any sort of influence.
Yeah, like any kind of say.
Now, I want to add that online spaces tied to MAGA and alt-right politics or personalities can normalize or minimize violent or misogynistic behavior. We see this every single day now, and it creates a perception that certain actions are excusable when they think it will benefit them. Now, even if the law treats him equally, the narrative gets skewed no matter what. Public support and fan campaigns can create pressure on media outlets, prosecutors, or local officials to act cautiously, bend the knee, or downplay reporting. It's hard not to notice these things. I'm at my wit's end with all of it.
And that's what happened with this case. I remember telling you about it, and you're like, I haven't heard anything about this. And it was, people still haven't heard about it. Like, it's very much under the radar when it really shouldn't be.
With that said, I think is it armchair speculation time?
It is time for some art. Let me get my hat. Hold on.
We got to actually make fucking hats.
We should, though. Okay. I have a lot of tinfoil.
Maybe in post, I can have like little Hershey kisses on our heads or something.
Yeah, just like have them slide in. Boop. Yeah. Okay, so armchair speculation is a segment here on Your Next Podcast where we put on our tinfoil hats and speculate wildly about the case. And this one is a doozy, so we carved out some time. I fixated on his family's connections in this town because I think it has everything to do of why Maria and Isabella were failed by the entire fucking system. Because the school failed them and the police failed them, the town failed them. Had a dad and grandfather who worked for the same department. So they knew all the cops that were in that department. The cops that would be arresting or questioning Vincent. And then just next door in the neighboring town, his uncle is currently the police chief, which is very high up position. The chief, his uncle Chris, he did put out a statement pretty soon after the murders that he didn't talk to his nephew all that much, and that he completely does not condone any of that behavior, on and on. So he was definitely trying to distance himself from the whole thing. And one article I read found that this chief, and has nothing to do with this case, but I think I want to bring it up because it talks about the family dynamic, or what his whole family kind of thinks.
Perfect.
And then it just I don't trust the chief. I don't trust the statement. I don't trust the police in this area. So the chief is currently involved in a large sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit within his own police department. There was a former police officer who worked there for more than 10 years. His name was Matthew Ohala, and he's suing the department for 1, sexual harassment, and 2, for destroying his 10-year career, 10 year plus. Reportedly, he started getting text messages from another officer of unwanted, unsolicited sexual advances. And this was in March of 2023. And through the whole thing, he managed to confirm who the officer was. His name was Dominic Dandelli, and who was the department's emergency communication systems advisor. So I'm guessing that's runs the 911 department, maybe the call center.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Ohala reported the harassment, and he was met with resistance. And then once the lawsuit started, the chief decided to move him to another department, and then started to micromanage and severely scrutinize Ohala's performance. He put Ohala on an unwarranted, and this was part of the lawsuit, unwarranted performance improvement plan. So put him on a PIP.
Fuck a PIP.
So the person claiming sexual harassment, you put him on a PIP, so fucking suspicious and wrong. And then the chief also endorsed a negative performance evaluation on Ohala. So basically, they bullied and harassed him into quitting. He said literally, there's no way I could keep working here. So he just took early retirement. The case is still ongoing. That's still out there.
Not that it matters, but, and I'm only going to ask this because I do have a follow-up question. Do we know if Ohala was gay? If he was out and gay man?
I do not know. I tried to find the lawsuit on it or everything, but it's been kept under wraps just because it does involve the police department. So I don't know. That's a great question.
The only reason I ask is because I feel like if he is an out gay man, or he's gay and it's not known, whatever the situation may be, if that was just more motive for what's this dickhead's name?
Christopher.
Chief Christopher. Maybe it was just more ammo for him to give him another reason to make him switch departments or to continue treating him poorly.
Absolutely. No, and then, but Okay, so to me, from what I saw, it sounds to me like the other guy's gay and not doing it correctly.
Uh-huh.
Because in my head, the scenario is Chief Chris is friends with Dominic, the guy who's being accused of sexual harassment, and Dominic denies it, and the chief protects his friend and tries to get rid of Matthew. And see, and that would make sense. Like, Matthew is gay, so it's like, obviously he's the pervert or the wrong one here. Let's get rid of him.
Right.
And then it became just a retaliation case. But yeah, just in connection to our case was, yeah, I feel like the police protected this kid before and after. And, you know, having a uncle who's a police chief and a dad and grandfather who worked for the same police department arresting you definitely protected him.
That's not fair. That is so fucked up. And again, it should not be plausible.
No, and it was like Vincent had been detained and questioned before on like the stalking stuff because, you know, his mom would see her, Maria's mom would see him and call the police, and they have stopped him. And he was just let go. Like, his dad would be the one to discipline him. So yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't trust anything these police officers are saying.
Not at all. And I get that, like, he's a juvenile and things are treated differently. I totally get that. But it doesn't seem like anything was done. But that also might just be because we're the public and he's a juvenile, and because laws are what they are, that we're not privy to that information. So all we can do is make assumptions.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, this is our speculation corner. Still got my hat on.
But I don't want it to be fair, damn it.
I mean, I don't think it's right. I think either way, her, especially after going 3 times and you've arrested this kid in the act, something should have been done. You know, whether juvenile, adult, or not. Like, it wasn't one incident. Like, if it was one incident, like, I could understand having some leeway or like wanting to handle it outside of, you know, criminal proceedings. But no, there was a whole history here.
And then it ends in fucking double homicide. Like,
and it ends in double homicide. Yeah. Like, I can't even imagine being her parents of like, we went to the police 3 times. Yeah. You know? And this kid was still out there, and then this kid did this horrible thing.
I saw one quick clip. I actually watched it on PBS. Shout out PBS. I saw one quick clip of the mom giving like a little statement to the press. It looked like it was like outside the police department. Yeah. No, not to say like, not to point out her lack of emotion as like saying it's a bad thing, but I'm impressed that there was no emotion.
I was impressed with her too.
She was so strong and like what she was saying, and like maybe as a parent it's totally different, and especially when you have to speak on behalf of your young kid that was taken from you, it's different. But like, I can't fathom that. I wouldn't be able to stand up and let alone just talk.
For real. Yeah. And like talk normally or talk without just cursing the entire time. Like,
yeah, I don't know what that's like.
No, but see, that's why I think she's so strong and so brilliant, because I think I understand what she's doing here, where you make sure you're showing less emotion because people dismiss you if you are, especially as a woman, especially as a person of color. If you're just sitting up there angry and yelling, nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to immediately be like, she's hysterical. She's just mad or blah, blah. But she like kept it calm. She said what she needed to say. And, you know, it just gives her more of a, it doesn't give people the opportunity to say she's emotional, you know, or like that none of this is coming from a logical place. Which is horrible. Like, it shouldn't be allowed, but... Okay, that's the other point I want to hit now that we're on the AI thing. The media silence. Which is like, we hit on it earlier, like, you didn't hear about this. I only heard about it because I saw a random Instagram post. It was like a picture and just like the caption, and I was like, this is insane. I need to look into this. And I kept looking at it, and I'm like, this has to be... We have to talk about this.
Yeah.
But, so it's not in like... really any major things. Like the New York Post has picked it up now, but it was mostly staying in New Jersey. And then almost all of them, like now it's starting to change now that we've had some time, but almost all of them did not mention a motive or anything about the Charlie Kirk or his political views, or like None of it was mentioned, and it can't be separated from this case. This isn't just a kid in love with a girl and was stalking her. Like, he did this and said he did it because of his political views and that Maria was not agreeing with it. Like, he just added that on top of this girl doesn't like me, and that's not okay to him. And yeah, I'm like, I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's okay for the media to not report that stuff, even if it's not confirmed yet. But he confirmed it himself. Like, he said it himself in these videos. So that's why I'm like, we have to do an episode on this. It bothers me that like the media is not talking about the MAGA angle at all, which makes sense. And that's what I'm saying, like, censorship going on right now.
This really does seem like the perfect, and I'm using that loosely, like the perfect thing that you would expect to see like in your social media feed more often than you saw it. I've never even, still to this day, like since I've researched it and like done my own sidebar stuff, nothing has popped up in any of my social media
Googling
feed.
It.
Like,
you would never see it. Yeah,
that is fucking nuts.
It is fucking nuts, but it's exactly the kind of thing that like our government doesn't want us to see right now. You know, I feel like if it was the other way around, where like some liberal killed Vincent, it would be everywhere. It would be this enormous terrorist plot of killing
there would be rallies.
Children of MAGA people. Exactly. And this was like, no, it was in the opposite direction. It didn't fit their media. It didn't fit their narrative. And they had to silence it.
But look over here at my shiny new ballroom that we're all getting. I'm gonna be so stressed out after this.
I'm so sorry, but it's okay. Why we have to do it. It's why we have to do it because I was like,
that's why we're here.
It's under the radar. I don't like it, and this is kids. Like, this is the people that are going to be in the world and run the world in a few years. And it's like, if this is how they're thinking, like, this is horrible. And then like silencing it is worse because, you know, it doesn't show that this is bad behavior or consequences. Right. Like, I want Vincent to become an example of consequences for thinking this way, treating people this way. Like, there has to be consequences. And it shouldn't take a double murder for you to suffer consequences.
Right. I just had this thought that I feel like we've spent a great majority of this episode harping a lot on MAGA and the Charlie Kirks and the Vincents of the world. I hope that doesn't come across as us stepping away from our focus of being a victim-focused show. But I think what's most, like, we can't not shed light and like not scream and shout about the most enraging parts of this, which is all of this incel shit, all of this alt-right wing shit. But I really just hope that we're not coming across as like kind of skirting away or around Maria and Isabella.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me too. But I feel like by seeing all of this,
like
go ahead.
No, I was just going to add, like, I think we've done it very tastefully in respect to them, of course. But again, like, we're just like raging about the Vincents.
I mean, at its core, though, this rage that we're feeling is because the system and society has failed our victims. These two 17-year-old girls who were harassed and stalked and then murdered, and nobody did anything about it. Like, that's why this is the angle, and we're exploring why nobody did anything about it, wherever that may go.
And all the victims that predate them too.
Absolutely. Like, I feel like we always hit that with our discussions, because it's like, especially, just the last couple episodes, Mary Vincent, Roxanne Hayes, the system failed them because they were women and they defended white people, or they defended some stupid reason that didn't make any sense. And that's what we rage against. It's just, there shouldn't be exceptions. There shouldn't be preferential treatment for anybody. Like, the justice system should be universal. And that's where the rage is coming from.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it all in together like that, because I just want to be fucking pissed off and like I know I need to reel it in and not keep going, but
no, I had a lot of internal conversations with myself while writing this, because I was like, I don't want this to be just us screaming the whole time or like bad mouthing a certain group of people. But no, the way we went about it, it's like it relates to this case. It relates to why these girls are dead. Like that's the outrage. That's what we're talking about, and not like we're mad about the political climate. Blah blah blah. It's like no, these girls are dead because they were failed, and the political climate protected these people from doing this.
They were just on a fucking electric bike. Like that is kids being kids.
Yeah. No, and it's like this
all
person
of that was fucking taken away from them.
So he was probably riding around on his car the entire time, saw them getting on a bike, and then had this brilliant idea. And that's what fucking happened. Because like, there's no way he just casually ran into him in the street. Like, I think he probably was watching them the entire time.
And if it's not that, I really fucking hope that they don't try to make it about the angle about like, one of the girls posted on social media what they were doing, where they were at. And so then he was then able to find out where they were. So then it's like a finger pointed at the girls, like, lesson learned, kids. Don't put you don't have to put everything on social media. But lo and behold, like, look what this fucking kid is doing.
It's gross that I can absolutely see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't listen to that, people. That's bullshit. It's like total utter bullshit. And that's part of like, again, this whole thing about like there's just no real legislation around this. Like that shouldn't be a reason or any kind of excuse. They're like, oh well, you broadcasted your location, so this is partly your fault. No, that's victim blaming.
At its core.
Like, these girls were teenagers who got on a fucking bike and wanted to share it on. So I don't even know if they did, but they shared it. If they shared it on social media, like it still doesn't, like that's victim blaming.
It doesn't invite you to come unriz the riz.
No. And I remember my psych class. I had an amazing psych teacher. Her name was Mrs. Schaefer.
I loved psych in high school.
She was amazing. She was my AP psych teacher. I got a 5 on that one, by the way. She was incredible. I learned so much in her class. Shout out to Miss Schaefer. But there was this, I always remember it, this enormous discussion around victim blaming. And she started out with like really simple, easy examples before getting to something like this, to where it was like, this woman left her house in the morning and there was an accident on the highway and she was late to work. She got to work and the boss said, like, you need to leave earlier. This is your fault. Don't do it again. Yeah. So that was like victim blaming. It's not considering any kind of situation, any kind of parameters. It's an immediate judgment on her and her personality or a failure of hers versus something that was completely out of her control. And it was enormous discussion in this class. And we're all like, 17 high school kids. It's just so prevalent. It's still what happens every day, all day. Like people are still just like, that whole thing with like, if you didn't dress that way, or if you just weren't there, or blah, blah. Like, no, someone made
what were
a
you
conscious
wearing?
decision.
What did you say?
Exactly. And this perpetrator made a conscious decision to do this to another human being. Nothing else matters. That's it. Like you can't victim blame. It shouldn't matter. Ooh, okay, we got far on that one. All right, let's reel it in. Let's take some deep breaths. I'll remind everyone again, deep breaths, and I'm going to need wine after this. And I'm going to watch like a cute little kids movie with singing. I'm going
to put on some Miss Rachel after this.
Yeah, to something to let it go, unwind.
Yeah. Well, like we said at the start, this is a fresh case which occurred a month ago. It is still unfolding. It is unfortunately a perfect allegory of how the nation is divided. We will, of course, be following this case and bringing any updates to you. As we're recording this, the case is currently being held in juvenile court. The prosecutor's office has until early December, which is about 60 days after initial charges, to decide whether to apply for a waiver to move this case into adult court or not. There is a lot of evidence and information we're all waiting on, but if this stays in juvenile court, we won't see or hear anything. Specific court dates for motions or hearings have also not been released. And again, juvenile records are often sealed.
Yeah, but I can't see this not move, or at least them petitioning an adult trial. There's just no way.
Yeah.
Like, he's 18 now, I think.
I think so too.
Like, his birthday was recent or something. Yeah.
I will, well, fuck him for getting to celebrate his birthday, but I will at least find gratification in the effort to motion for, to petition for adult court. But I hope it's the right judge that actually has some fucking sense and it isn't a bad judge.
I mean, they'll have to get an outside jury too. That's one thing I can absolutely see being a problem here. Like, they cannot get a local jury because these are small towns and the police are all related to him. So yeah, it has to be something outside.
Do you think they'll jump counties? Like, they'll have it in a different jurisdiction?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I want to be really hopeful and say, yeah,
this could go so many fucking different ways.
It really could. But like, in my head, I'm seeing a hung trial first because they got local people and then they had to request outside of people. But I don't know. The world is crazy right now. Like,
I know. Nothing surprises me.
So, I mean, we'll definitely keep an eye on this. Like, if there's any updates, I'm going to bring them back.
We'll definitely make some short, quick TikToks about that because that's going to be the quickest way to get information out to y'all. But with that being said, please don't let the media's portrayal and sensationalism obscure the fact that two beautiful, kind souls were murdered for refusing a man and his ideas. Maria and Isabella have been laid to rest, and in a joint statement by their families, they expressed their grief and love. Maria's mother said of her daughter, quote, "Her life may have been short, but it was powerful. She loved deeply, she gave generously, and she dreamed boldly. You wanted to make the world more beautiful, my daughter. You did, just by being in it, and I promise you, your light will never go out." Fuck. Fuck.
Oh, I love her mother.
I absolutely love her. I will pledge anything to her, anything she needs.
She has been the basically like the spokesperson for Maria and Isabella, like for both families. Like, she's been at the front, and I love her deeply. And I'm like, whatever you need.
She needs like an endless spa month retreat once all of this is laid to rest. And from the family friend Lori, she said, quote, "Protect your children at all costs. And if anything feels wrong in any way, shape, or form, speak up right away. This could have been avoided, perhaps, if the right people were listening. These girls had their whole lives ahead of them. Isabella is a ray of light, and I pray she's watching over her family."
Ugh. Lori, love her too. And she's absolutely right. I don't want to hit this again, but like, her family did speak up, and the rest of the rest of society, the rest of the people surrounding her didn't do what they were supposed to. But as a parent, you know, be there, be present, care about your kids, care about what's happening to them, believe them.
Believe them, yes. Oh my God, they were just on they were on an electric bike. I can't.
Yeah. And like, just trying to live their regular lives. Ugh, okay.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of our episode today. The tragic murder of Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas.
And I hope the families get the answers and justice they deserve, even if that means we, the public, don't get to see or hear much. I am okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you loved this episode or hated it, follow us on your next.
I hated it.
like whatever strong feelings you have, they're right. If you love this one, follow us on Your Next podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or anywhere where you can get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. It helps us get to more true crime lovers. Tell all your friends to listen to us. And you can also follow us on all the socials at Your Next Pod.
Please also share this episode, like you said, with your fellow true crime nexties. That just like came to me.
Nexties, I like that.
Yes, with that, let's keep the conversation going, and most importantly, keep Maria and Isabella's stories at the forefront.
Yes, absolutely. Please tune in next week. We are diving into the story of Sal Mineo. He was a Hollywood rising star and a Hollywood heartthrob back in the 50s.
He sure was.
Yes. 50s. Back in the 50s, whose life ended tragically in a dark alley under even darker circumstances. And this story gets juicy, everybody. It's ongoing.
It does. And if you haven't already, go back and listen to the episode that Brooke and I did on Natalie Wood. Her story connects to the same golden era of Hollywood secrets, scandal, and tragedy.
Not only that, but the same movie. Natalie Wood and Sal Mineo were in the same movie. There is something called Rebel Without a Cause Curse, which we will go over in the episode.
Well, I think that's all. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, we've talked a lot. I need to go be alone with my thoughts.
Yeah, I need to go water my plants. I need to do something to
just zone out for a little bit.
Well, we will see y'all next week.
Thank you for listening.
Stay safe. Thank you for listening, of course.
Be careful out there, or you're next.
Bye, guys.
Bye.